Hey, it's Quadex here, and I am here with my most popular series, What If Naruto Wasn't Dumb? Get this video to 500 likes and I'll upload the next part. Check out my other quality what ifs. The links to playlists of all the what ifs I've done will be in the description. So if you're gonna comment a what if suggestion, check that before, since I get a lot of comments asking me to do what ifs I've already done. If you want me to redo them, clarify that you want me to redo them, or if you want me to continue that series, which if I stop, I'm probably not continuing, so I'm probably going to redo it. Anyways, check out the community tab. I use that for posts to select what videos I do and more. Please like, comment, Q, or any other comments you may have. I wanted to give a shout out to Anime Alternates. He did a great video today, actually yesterday. I watched it this morning. I really enjoyed it. It was what if Naruto was a scientist. Personally, I haven't talked to him, but he sounds like a cool guy. The link to his video will be in the description. Go check him out, show him some love. Let him know you're from the Quadex squad. Or oh no, when I first came up with the name Quadex, it wasn't for a YouTube channel, it was just for a character I was writing. And then I was like, oh my god, if I start a YouTube channel, I could call them Squadix, because it's just one S behind my name. I don't know, I might do that in the future. Anyways, yeah, let them know you're from the channel, show them some love, and make sure you're subscribed. YouTube subscribes a lot of you, as I've been told, and some of you just don't subscribe. I don't know, please subscribe. Let's get into it. Chapter 8. Welcome to the wonderful world of D ranks. Naruto was starting to hate those words by now. It had been 2 weeks since the bell test had taken place. Kakashi had kept to his promise and started taking missions for the team the day after. Only Naruto, and by extension his teammates, refused to believe whatever they were doing were missions. Menial tasks such as fixing fences, taking dogs out for walks, manual labor on farms. Naruto was confused as hell as to how these tasks could be labeled in the same category as missions. He was sure Sasuke and Sakura were too. Speaking of which, Sasuke had started asking questions about how Naruto knew wind and water ninjutsu, his taijutsu style. He even had the nerve to demand from him all the jutsu he knew. Naruto had told him in no uncertain terms that unless Sasuke was willing to share jutsu from his own repertoire, Naruto had no intention of telling him what he had wanted to know. Of course, Sasuke refused to share any of his jutsus, believing that they were Uchiha clan jutsus, and as such, no one besides him could know. Naruto had scoffed at that, but Kurama had straight out burst laughing. The great beast had told him he knew at least 20 people who could perform the great fireball, only 2 of which were Uchihas. Naruto had smartly countered the argument by towing the line that was Uchiha Sasuke's pride. He condescendingly asked if the great Uchiha library was not enough for him. Sasuke did not want to admit that he could not access it without his Sharingan, and he honestly believed all the jutsus available outside were weak and so did not bother to learn them. He stopped bugging Naruto after that, much of the blonde's relief. However, Sakura had started budging him on Sasuke's behalf to get him to hand over the jutsus, saying that a loser like him does not deserve them. Naruto was quick in shutting her up, turning her own argument against her. He had smartly questioned her if she was simply implying that he was weak. Sakura, unaware of what she was putting her foot into, scoffed and replied that she was not implying she knew he was weak. After that, everything went smooth like butter. Naruto replied that if he was weak, then by extension, the jutsu he used were also weak. And Sasuke wouldn't love Sakura if she handed him weak jutsus, right? Sakura had adopted a worried frown at his question and seemed to come to the conclusion that he was right. She did not once question why Naruto accepted himself as weak, which was opposite of what he had displayed in the bell test. Regardless, after mocking him some more, she went back to Sasuke, who ignored her as usual. Kakashi Sensei was also onto him, but he was a lot more cautious in his approach. He subtly framed his statements such that Naruto would have difficulty in avoiding the correct answer. But Naruto knew that if he got out, he had received training from an early age. Sasuke might throw one of his tantrums, which could result in the civilian council removing him from the ninja program. No, thank you. Naruto, while subtle talking was not one of his strengths, decided that he would avoid talking to Kakashi outside of missions and training. Speaking of training, Naruto tried out the taijutsu simulation his father left for him. Needless to say, he was excited as hell when he fought the first level, and he was more than surprised at how difficult it was. He may have reached a level in his resistance seals that actually permits him to try all 7 levels, but only the first level's victory came at the cost of some very impressive bruises. It taught Naruto that his taijutsu, while very good, was not good enough. He increased the resistance on his body, believing if he was faster, he would be better. He tried the second level after a week and was pleased to note the number of bruises he got were significantly less, a sign of improvements. He also learned a water and a lightning jutsu as well. A very interesting thing he learned about his red lightning was that it was very versatile and easy to use. He could mold it into anything with ease, almost like it was an extension of his body. But enough of that. Right now they were on a mission. A mission Naruto had absolutely no problem in failing. The mission to capture Tora, the feudal lord's wife's cat. It was a mission that always managed to give Naruto goosebumps. He could swear on his ramen that the old man was a sadist. He could see the joy at their pain in his eyes every time the mission to capture the blasted cat was handed out. So far, they had already caught it 5 times. This was the 6th. He was ready to tear his hair out. This is Kakashi. Everyone copy? Sakura here. Copy. Sasuke here. Copy. Naruto here. Copy. Does everyone have eyes on the target? Naruto responded, I have clear eyes on the target, just waiting for the go. Alright, go. A flash step later, Naruto had Tora secured in his arms. He was thrashing around, but he could care less. Got him, Kakashi Sensei. Turning to the cat, he pressed 2 fingers onto the cat's forehead and removed them, revealing a kanji for sleep. Tora fell asleep instantly. His teammates landed beside him, irritated expressions on their face, which Kakashi expertly ignored and asked Naruto through the radio. Does it have the red ribbon on the right ear? Surprisingly, it was Sarko who replied, Yes, red ribbon is there. Can we go now? Naruto couldn't fault her for being so infuriated. He looked over to Sasuke and saw him return to his normal brooding expression, but his clenched fist told otherwise. Kakashi landed beside his team, eyes scrunched up in that annoying eye smile of his. Well done, Team 7. Capturing Tora is a success. Naruto quietly mumbled again. He seriously wanted to start doing actual missions. After the return to the mission hall, Kakashi asked for another D-rank mission, much to his team's protest. The sign name scrolled through the missions. Let's see. There is a fence that needs painting, weeding to be done, dogs to be walked. How about a real mission this time, GG? Like a C rank? He asked the Hokage, tired of doing the chores these people called missions. Sakura was quick to scold Naruto. Naruto, show respect to the Hokage. Surprisingly, she didn't try to hit him. Must have scared her back there, he mused. Naruto, Iriko spoke with a frown. You can't demand missions like that. Getting teams have to do D ranks for 2 to 3 months before they get qualified for C ranks. And even then, their Jonin sense. Hiruzen cut Iriko off with a gentle chuckle. It's okay, Sakura-chan. Oh no! 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 No, why? I just want 1 dub. Give me 1 dub. You know what? It's fine. It's okay, Sakura. He has called me that ever since he was little. Sakura's eyes widened a bit in surprise, as did Sasuke's. They didn't know Naruto was so close to the Hokage to extent of calling the man a grandfather figure. Hiruzen turned towards Kakashi. Kakashi, do you think your team is ready for a C-rank mission? Kakashi thought about it a bit. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura's teamwork had progressed at a slow rate, but he can say that their teamwork had become decent. One development worth mentioning was that Sasuke now held a one-sided rivalry with Naruto. With Naruto starting to hide less of his abilities, it became even more clear that he had Sasuke outmatched in ninjutsu because of his wider repertoire of jutsus, not to mention that Naruto had shown he could use 3 elements and had monstrous chakra reserves due to being a Jinchuriki and an Uzumaki, easily dwarfing Sasuke's reserves. Funjutsu already gave Naruto an edge that Kakashi knew Sasuke would not be able to match. The Jonin suspected Naruto was hiding a lot more, but didn't call him out on it. He kept a close eye on Naruto during the D-ranks, but Naruto held his edge. He didn't give the two boys any chance to spar, knowing that because of Sasuke's inability to accept someone, especially Naruto, was stronger than him would cause the spar to escalate into something much serious. Kakashi was not dumb enough to take that chance. Anyway, Naruto had unintentionally became Sasuke's reason to get stronger. Kakashi reasoned that Sasuke held his brother Itachi in a much bigger position than Naruto and wanted to become stronger than Naruto, so he could finally kill him. Another positive development was that Sasuke didn't completely alienate himself from his teammates. He held a strange companionship with Naruto, deeming the boy tolerable. Maybe it was because Naruto had metamorphically extended a hand of friendship towards the lone Uchiha by displaying a bit of what he was capable of, and Sasuke respected those who had power. Taking all of this into consideration, Kakashi finally spoke. Yes, I believe they are ready, Hokage-sama. All 3 genin had different reactions to this. Sakura sighed in relief, not wanting to do D-ranks anymore. Naruto pumped his fist, exclaiming, "Yes, finally!" Even Sasuke smirked a bit. He felt doing D-ranks held him back from getting stronger. Maybe getting some real-world experience like encountering bandits and foreign shinobi would make him stronger, he mused. Hiruzen nodded and browsed through the pile in front of him. Let's see. Found it. Simple escort and protection mission to Wave Country. Your client is a bridge builder named Tazuna who wants you to protect him until he completes building his bridge in Wave. Kakashi took the scroll. Mission accepted, Hokage-sama. Hokage then turned to Iruka. Send Tazuna inside. Iruka nodded and went out of the room, returning 2 minutes later with an old man wearing a straw hat and holding a bottle which obviously contained alcohol. Naruto wrinkled his nose. The odor was not pleasant at all. Tazuna looked at the team of genin and slurred. These brats that are supposed to protect me. I paid for real ninja protection. Funny of you to say that, considering you didn't even notice me move. A voice came from behind him. Tazuna wiped around with wide eyes, but couldn't spot the owner of the voice. Over here, you drunkard. I don't know. The same voice drawled, making the man whip around again, eyes looking onto a mop of blonde hair. Intense blue eyes stared back at him, silently mocking him and his earlier statement. Kakashi intervened before Naruto could scare Tazuna even more. Naruto, please don't scare the client, he reprimanded in his usual lazy voice, which didn't seem like a reprimand at all. Kakashi-sensei, you're no fun at all. Naruto sighed, despondently, walking back to his place beside Sasuke. Kakashi assured the builder, you have nothing to be afraid of, Tazuna-san. I don't like Kakashi calling him Tazuna-san. You have nothing to be afraid of, Tazuna. My genin are amongst of the best upcoming ninjas of this village. Bro, you have Sakura on your team. You can't talk. Like, okay, he said some. So I guess you could be talking about Naruto and Sasuke only. Okay, my bad. I'll give you the benefit of doubt. We can easily take care of a few bandits. Instead of making the man relax, Tazuna tensed up a bit at the word bandits. Naruto narrowed his eyes a bit at that. Protection from a Jonin would be enough to make anyone relax. So Tazuna tensing up didn't make sense. He's hiding, or more probably, withholding some information, Naruto. Be on your guard, Kurama advised. He too noticed Tazuna's tensing up. Will do, Kurama, replied Naruto in his head before turning to Kakashi, excitement on his face. When are we leaving, Kakashi-sensei? He eagerly asked. We will leave tomorrow morning at 7, he answered. He then lazily waved them away. That's all for today. Take full rest for tomorrow. The genin disappeared to their own thing for the remainder of the day. Naruto and Sasuke went separate ways to do their own training while Sakura headed home. Naruto headed to the abandoned Senju compound, more specifically the Naidame's library. He figured that this C rank might take them 2 or 3 weeks, so he might as well collect 2 jutsu scrolls to learn in the meantime. Browsing, he picked up a Suiton and Futon scroll. Suiton, water style, water serving wave, was a powerful A-rank jutsu. After infusing chakra in your stomach and then converting it to water, the user spit the water out in a highly pressurized, razor-sharp jets of water, sharp enough to clean cut through a rock and barks of thick trees if used perfectly. Naruto was pleased to note that, like Suiton Jutsu he had learned from the library until now, this one had 2 types of learning as well. One for normal water users, another for a user who had extremely high affinity, like Tobirama, who could perform the most complex water techniques with only one hand seal. Futon, wind style, wind torpedo technique. A powerful C-rank jutsu that Tobirama himself created, keeping explosive tags in mind. I'm starting to think our esteemed Naidame was a man obsessed with explosives, he thought as he read on how to perform the jutsus. After infusing wind chakra in your lungs, it is expelled as a highly explosive a ball of wind, near invisible. Upon contact, it will explode with the force of 2 standard explosive tags. It required 3 hand seals of ox, horse, snake. Should be enough to last this mission, he mused as he exited the library. Extending his senses, he checked if anyone was nearby. Finding no one, he shrugged and simply flashed into his apartment. He had no idea what he was in for in this mission. Okay guys, that was the end. I will end it there. Maybe, should I? You know what? I'll give you guys a bit more. Okay, I'll go beyond. Chapter 9. Naruto woke up at his usual time of 5 o'clock, refreshed and recovered from yesterday's training. He got up from his bed, rubbing his eyes a bit, walking to the bathroom. He finished his morning ritual and almost put on his regular running clothes before remembering that he had a C-rank mission today. He shook his head and just put on a lower and shoes. He opened the door to his balcony and breathed the fresh air, cooling morning air. The fresh, cool morning air. He shivered once as the air hit his bare upper body, but soon adjusted to it. He flipped onto the roof and began a series of stretches to simply warm his body up. Wouldn't want to exert too much today before the mission, he thought as he stretched every part of his body. With that being the last thought, he emptied his mind and enjoyed the silence that the village experienced in the early mornings before it began its daily chaos. After 1 hour, he sufficiently warmed up his body and decided to have breakfast before heading to the gate. Making a half-ram seal, a shadow clone popped into existence. Already knowing to make breakfast, it flipped his way into the apartment and into the kitchen while Naruto sat there, simply taking in the peace for a few minutes. Kurama, in your ridiculously long life, have you ever taken time to breathe and admire the sunrise? What brought this on, brat? Kurama's voice was a bit laden with sleep, signifying that he was napping as usual. Naruto shrugged, just asking. Despite what people tend to think about me, I don't rampage all the time. You know, even I take time to appreciate the simply joys of nature, he grumbled. Naruto lifted an eyebrow. Wow, people really don't understand you as well as they think they do. He flipped himself back into his apartment, walking to his bathroom to freshen up. 10 minutes later, he was eating 4 scrambled eggs, all the while mentally complaining a list of what he should take with him. He created a shadow clone to clean up while he got ready. He dressed up as usual and sealed up whatever supplies he would need in a larger scroll with which he brought from the Higurashi weapons shop. The folks over there didn't up the prices for him. He was considering selling modified explosive tags over there in exchange for a discount on his future purchases, a bit of secrecy. After all, he also needed those in the future. After double checking everything, he picked up his scroll, slung it around him, and walked out of his apartment. He activated the trap seals, which he had designed himself. While he knew no one had any reason to come into his apartment, he couldn't help but create them, just to test himself with that. He flashed the Horizon seal on top of the gates of Konoha. Okay, that's where I'm going to be ending it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next part. See ya!